Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name's Landon, and here we play Jank. And today I am with EeveeConnoiseur, the winner of my first Pauper tournament. I did terribly, but EeveeConnoiseur went undefeated. So, Evie, go ahead and say hi.
Hello, everyone. The Pauper god here. That cooked up a deck in like 20 minutes because I didn't have any ideas.
Right? You were telling me before I hit record. You messaged asking what time it started, and it was like 2 hours, and then you just built this thing.
Yeah, I built this deck in like, I think 10 to 20 minutes. I was scrolling on PKMN cards because this format it's very limited in like draw. When you go onto, I went onto PKMNcards.com, which is the website I use to like make these kinds of weird ass decks. So I went in like, I was like, I need a low maintenance attacker because this format, it's like really hard to get things back because of like, there's no research, there's no like aggressive draw cards. So I was like, I need something that swings for a lot of damage for low energy. And then I was scrolling, right, and I saw the Beheeyem from Temporal Forces, which is a card that at my local league, it's like a little bit of a meme. So I was like, it would be funny to like cook it up, right? So I was like, sure, I'll make a deck with it. And honestly, it worked out pretty well. There's also the Beheeyem from Silver Tempest as a one-of, which
I really like that move.
I like that card so much. The artwork on it is great, and I remember I played it in Zorobox back when that was still a thing. So you could like bench snipe for double colorless.
Every time
I pulled
a Beheeyem from Silver Tempest, I was like, this is going to be a good deck eventually, right? Like some sort of good tech.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know it was going to be in Pauper.
Yeah, Pauper. There's a time and place for every card.
Yeah.
And Beheeyem's time is now. It came in handy more times than I expected, actually. Especially in the game with you. It was the game where it had shown the most. Of its capabilities.
Those 60 HP bond suites, just perfect for bench sniping.
Sniped. Beautiful. But the star of the deck is obviously the Beheeyem, the Cosmic Beatdown, the 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play. It was like the perfect attack. Like you have Buddy Poffin to search out the basics. All you need is just like you need evolutions, and I play 4 Ultra Ball on my list, no 3, and a Jacq, and it worked out. Yeah. Also, the Falkner.
I was a little worried hitting. I was a little worried hitting 120 wouldn't be enough in this format, but you know, stage 2s are so hard to get working apparently, now that I know that. And yeah, 120 seems to be a good number for a lot of these decks.
Yeah, 120 seems to have been working great. Well, in your case, you were using the Tsarina, which has 160 and does 20 to itself with the attack, so you can't swing twice. Well, you technically couldn't take knockouts, but you knock yourself out in the process. Just like a double-edged sword, but the stage 2s are definitely a bit tough to get through, but 120 again is really solid. I fought the guy with the Clefairy deck.
I didn't.
It was just like he. Oh, but that was a really interesting deck. I have that deck in standard, as a matter of fact, but he had to like do a lot of things like play Super Rod and bench Clefairies and then switch around to get the abilities to work. But the thing is, you need a lot of cards to do that. And the format just isn't really open to that because it doesn't have that great draw supporters, like research and stuff. But Falkner, in my opinion, I just put 2 in there because I was like, I'm playing 3 Pokemon League Headquarters, which is another card I want to talk about, which is like, this card is kind of nasty. Because like, I was expecting Cleffa to see a lot of play in this tournament, but I didn't see it pop up once. And I was like, Pokemon League Headquarters is like the anti-Cleffa card.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I put that in my deck, no, they're not going to be able to draw, and draw is really important in this format. So I put 3 of those in there. It was really handy against the Clefairy. I think he whiffed like one or 2 attacks because of that. I also fought the guy with the Voltorb, Hisuian Voltorb and Electrode.
Yeah, so I'll be honest,
who has
the 2 people you played, I didn't get to play.
Oh, that's sad. That sucks. But there's this guy with the Hisuian Voltorb who has the free attack for 0 energy, who can search 2 basic energies and attach them to 2 of their bench Pokemon, but only on the first turn going second. But if I went first and I tossed down League Headquarters, he can't do that. But wait, I think he also doesn't play any energy, so
he doesn't
it actually effectively did nothing, but it was still funny. And yeah, the Vanillux in that deck was a real pain for my deck, because his Electrode, my Beheeyem has 100 HP, which is really mediocre, but apparently that was somehow enough to tank a few hits in this format. So 100, I guess, isn't that bad now in this format, but his Electrode with Vitality Band or Practice Studio, which is a stadium that lets stage 1s do 10 more damage, hit a perfect 60 on my Beheeyem, leaving it with 40 HP, and his Vanillux then made me unable to attack. So I had to come up with creative ways to, like, dodge that, like using the Beheeyem that snipes, and using Gardevoir Silver Tempest as an actual attacker, which is another card that's, like, interesting, right? Because in the standard Gardevoir lists, that card was like, like never saw play. That was like the bad of war. Like, Shiny Arcana was all over was like the talk of the town, and this card was just left in the dust, and like rightfully so. But in this format, not bad. Like refinement again on the same Pokemon, draw 4.
Yeah,
not bad, and it does 120 damage just like Beheeyem.
Yeah, that's one of those key interactions with that Gardevoir is you can refinement with the Kirlia, then evolve it and refinement with the Gardevoir, and you just get so much out of that one Pokemon slot, you know?
Yeah, it's really compact. That's what I like about it. And it has cool artwork with Diantha on it.
Artwork.
Very nice. Very nice. I think I used to have the card. Not anymore, but too bad.
Well, maybe
probably not that expensive.
Get it again.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, definitely. Another card I wanted to talk about was Counter Catcher. There's no Gust in this format apart from Counter Catcher, so that makes it a really important card. Being behind in this format is if you're not behind, you cannot Gust. Like that is something you always have to keep in mind, and it's really important to play around in this format. Counter Catcher is like the only way to really Gust. And when I only have one in my list, but every time I use it, it was impactful. Like that's just a testament to how strong Gusting is in Pokemon.
Definitely, and the fact that you have to work around not having boss's orders is so interesting in Pauper. And Counter Catcher is a great option. I was thinking Iron Bundle might be another good option. Pretty sure that's
Bundle, yeah, true. Yeah, it is. And there's also, I think, a new floor Gust coming out, and that's why Masquerade that can Gust on a coin flip and confuse the active.
Yeah, that one.
That's kind of nasty. I got hit by that one in the pre-release a few times. Pretty fun. Oh man, this deck, it kind of grew on me, I'm not gonna lie. The last minute inclusion I put in here was the Moonlit Hill, because I was fearing Spread would be effective since the absence of Manaphy was like leaving a big hole in the bench barrier department.
Well, so Calico was playing the Monkey Trio, and so Simipour was spreading against me, and I would have loved Moonlit Hill, but yeah. You were prepared and you didn't hit it.
I was certainly prepared. I dodged the match. I was kind of sad. But it did really do numbers against the Vanillux deck I fought. Because it allowed me to heal above that 40 threshold to be able to attack a few times. It was pretty clutch. It was a last minute inclusion. So it certainly served its slot. All the cards in this deck I feel like really pulled their weight. So I'm really happy with that. Apart from maybe the Morty, because I feel like I only got it at the end of the game where I would deck out if I played it. But otherwise, a really good card. A really good card in this format. Morty's
I one copy of Morty's isn't going to pop up nearly that frequently. I love the inclusion of Colress, even if you're not doing Lost Box stuff, you know? So
yeah, it digs 5. It's great in this format.
Yeah.
It's the most dig you're going to get off a supporter.
Look at your energy. I notice it's just Psychic and then 2 Jet energy.
Yeah, 2 Jet energy. That's true. My philosophy behind Jet energy was like a swing with Gardevoir for a 120 if you already got a Psychic attached, and it's a switching card that cannot be affected by Eerie. Because I was fearing that maybe people would play it. And I think the guy who played Vanillux actually had an Eerie in his deck.
Oh, I believe it.
And so that's why I put Jet Energy in there. It also works with the other Beheeyem, and it's just like it's a nice switching card that isn't affected by item snipe like Eerie. So that's why I put it in there.
I found it interesting because, like, with the Beheeyem from Silver Tempest, 2 colorless energy, your mind automatically goes to double turbo energy. But going with just Psychic and Jet, allowing you to do 60 instead of 40, you know, that makes a big difference in these matchups.
Yeah, especially against that bounce sweep with 60. It's a big difference. Certainly,
Yeah.
I was happy that I didn't put no double turbo in here. I was actually a few. Yeah, next time though.
Next time, no Pokemon with 60 HP. None.
Nah, they're banned. Beheeyem Tech. Beheeyem Tech inclusion.
Yeah,
the last thing I wanted to talk about was I was really scared of item lock Venomoth for some reason. So that's another reason I put Jet over Switch.
Oh, okay.
It's like item lock Venomoth could be really nasty.
Yeah,
in this format. Although the over reliance on supporters is very pivotal in this format instead of items.
Yeah, and I kind of thought because there's no bosses ors, it'd be hard for the lock with Venomoth to like keep going, you know, because you
yeah, true, but
they're putting out powerful stuff and it's hard to gust around and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but true, but like same with the Beheeyem, it's a 1 energy attacker.
Yeah,
it was a stage 1, and you can play Counter Catcher. You're not going to take any prizes. Although with the low HP in the format, it might actually be a little bit hard to manage that because the Venomoth does swing for 30. So you might have to like, and what if they like flip tails in a confusion? They take themselves out. Now you can't Counter Catcher anymore. Lock. But like, yeah, disruption decks are really dangerous. So I feel like I had to run a few Jets. But apart from that, the only card I was really missing in this deck, like a card that I would put in this deck if I were to play it again, which I'm not going to, but I would probably put an EXP share in here, or like any tools, because I play one Arven.
One Arven, no tools.
But I don't play any tools, but I used to play more. I think I replaced them for Colress. Yeah, I feel like if you play heavy Arven, which I used to have, but I replaced 2 of them with Colress for the draw, for the dig. I feel like an EXP share would have gone like a mile in this deck. Like, especially considering you have 1 energy attack.
Right.
Gardevoir can hold it. Gardevoir can hold it too.
Yeah.
It would have gone a long way.
I kind of feel like since I played against the who was it? Resident Clinton, I believe, had the mill deck. Patrol Cap
with the great sauce.
Been great, you know?
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Did he play any vacuums in his list, or?
Not that I remember.
Let's see. Doesn't seem so to me.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
No, well, that could have been a great inclusion, but he does have the 4 Counter Catcher to gust around it. So yeah, that would have counted maybe for at least 1 turn. But that one turn could mean everything in this format. Turns are really important. Like, the thing with this deck is you just, like, it doesn't need much. That's like the key to, like, I think making a good deck. Just make a deck that is low maintenance. Because you're not.
I noticed you've got 4 Buddy-Buddy Poffin and 3 Nest Balls. That's a lot.
Yeah,
basic.
That's true. You need your basics out.
That's true.
And with the limited draw, it's really important to have like the guarantee that basic search Artazon on the first turn. 1 Artazon, yeah. Stadiums, interesting. Stadiums like disruption stadiums are good. Like League headquarters really helped me against the fairy deck. But what was the philosophy behind the 1 Artazon? I don't really. You know what? I'm gonna be real. I don't really know. I don't know why that's there.
You're playing Falkner, and so I kind of see.
Oh yeah, Falkner, true.
Your 5 stadiums. So if someone else is playing a stadium, most likely they're not playing more than 4. So you would win the stadium war, and Falkner would be able to work.
Now that you say it, yeah, true. I was originally going to run 4 Falkner. I think I literally have the 4 reverse copies bought in live because I didn't have any. Big waste of my credits. I think I have, owned 4. Damn, there goes my credits. But I was originally going to plan to indeed win the stadium war with 5 stadiums and then just have draw 4 for the rest of the game. Yeah, which is like draw 4 is great, right? Like that's the thing with supporter cards. Draw 3 is usually like the bare minimum you're gonna get, or like the maximum you're going to get. Draw 4 is almost never like a thing without a drawback. You had Falkner now, which needs a stadium in play. You have an old card, Lily's Full Force, which drew
yeah.
4, but at the end of the turn you had to shuffle cards back until you have 2 in your hand.
Yeah.
And Evelyn, which is another old card, but it can only be used if your opponent's active as a stage 1. So there's never draw 4 without a drawback. But Falkner, I feel like, kind of breaks that mold somehow.
Well, the stadium in play is like in your control. You play the stadium.
Pretty much.
Then you can play Falkner.
I'm the guy who has the stadiums. I have 5.
Yeah, I didn't play a single one.
Really annoying stadiums that you really desperately want to bump, and some that will just help you. The Artazon was nice. It came in handy too. But it helped. I feel like Artazon, like, as a card, just, like, it helps your opponent more than that it helps you most of the time. And I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword, but Artazon's like a staple of this format, I believe. And of GLC, for that matter. It's a really important card. It's great, but I think I would cut it for the 4th Nest Ball. But the Falkner really was good, though. The draw 4 really was nice.
Yeah.
It's like maybe I would keep replace it for another stadium, but what stadium would that be? I don't really know. Not a 4th league headquarters, that's for sure. Maybe practice studio was actually pretty handy to do 10 more, do 130. Yeah. Because the electrodes that I played against, the 90 HP grass type Hisuian electrode, the guy also played a 1/1 Cricketune, which boosted it up to 130. So I was like, if I could hit that 10 extra damage, man, like, that would have gone a mile. But yeah, he did play practice studio himself, so I did actually use his own stadium against him, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, another idea for the tool would be Vitality Band. Then.
Vitality Band, yeah, all right.
10 extra, and then like ancient Pokemon, they often have 140, and so that would be a good, number to be hitting. Although I guess you're
most ancient Pokemons aren't playable in the format though, like the Moon and the Koraidon.
Right.
It's really just Tusk.
Yeah.
What do you do against Tusk?
There's 2 different Tusks. There's the Mill, and then there's the Wrathful Charge, and dealing.
But I'm pretty sure. Wait, isn't the weakness on the Mill Tusk Psychic?
I think they're both Psychic.
So the Beheeyem just one shots it anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was pretty much the Beheeyem deck. Certainly, it's certainly a deck of all time, I would say.
You mentioned Gym Leader Challenge earlier. Do you play that format as well?
Gym Leader Challenge is interesting because at my local league, I'm notorious to be the guy who's always unlucky. So, Gym Leader Challenge, I feel like being a singleton format, the nature of the singleton like experience is that like the prize cards are really important. Mm-hmm. And I remember playing a match of GLC at a regional in Lille last year, and I was playing against my now girlfriend. We played the exact same deck, and
very nice.
Exact same 60 because I literally borrowed the list from her sister. So I literally just stole the deck, and I had my setup 1 turn earlier, but my Torterra was prized. We were both playing grass, and that caused me to lose the game because I couldn't attack.
Yeah, that certainly.
Yeah, it really hurt. That match really hurt, and I still get called names for it every single day I go to the league. But you lost to her with the grass deck. Come on, man.
Hey, like this. It happens, okay? It happens.
Yeah, that's just the nature of GLC, and it's really hard for me to like wrap my head around that. But that's like prize cards are like a big part of the game in that format. It's just like something that doesn't sit right with me. It's losing because you prize a certain card, but apart from that, it's good fun. Certainly.
Between Gym Leader Challenge and Pauper, are there any like particular differences that you find more interesting about one over the other?
Yeah. The fact that Pauper is not singleton is like the thing that draws me towards it more, and just like I as a person, I really like single prize Pokemon. I always, when I make a deck, it's always mostly single prize Pokemon and maybe like one multi-prizer. Like, I just like the single prize Pokemon just hold like a special place in my heart. I don't know, like they're just special to me. I don't really like I would never really make a full EX deck. That's why I like formats like GLC and Pauper.
Yeah, I kind of like the little guys winning sometimes, and that's what draws me towards.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That makes me happy to see single prizes succeed, except if it's Lost Box. I hate Lost Box.
Everyone does.
I think even the people who play it hate it.
Yeah,
but
yeah, they just play it because it wins.
Yeah, I like the thing with Pauper is it has the single prize Pokemon, which I like. It has the non-singleton aspect, which I like. The only thing I have against Pauper is the limited draw, but I feel like that also makes it more fun somehow.
Yeah.
You know.
And in like full Pauper, you're usually playing expanded format, black and white on. But on PTCGL, we're limited to the standard formats. We're just so limited currently.
Yeah, it really stinks. Sun and Moon isn't playable either, I think. I'm not sure about that, though. But I'm pretty sure if you challenge a friend, you can't use any older cards in the Sword and Shield, which is really just, like, a waste of, like, potential, because it would have been so much more fun. Because me and my friends have recently been making Sun and Moon decks and X and Y decks. Because one of my friends was really nostalgic for that era. So
me too. I joined back in to Pokemon TCG with Sun and Moon, and I love that format. Those formats.
It's so really good. Yeah. I only started playing 2.5 years ago, but I was like really excited to like dip my toes into a new format. I was like, what would I play if I played back then? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I have a few decks built. It's been fun so far. I even made a deck for a card that one of my friends had a nightmare about, and I beat him with it. It's funny. It's like a Macargo that had an attack for 1 energy, like Mill 2. That was it. And I beat him, and I challenged him to make like an anti-mill deck, but I still beat him. That was kind of funny.
Very nice. Well done.
It's 2-2 currently. The finals is on Sunday. Gonna demolish him.
So, with Pauper, you've won the first tournament that I hosted.
Yes,
what is kind of your next step with Pauper? Build something else, take a little bit more time than 2 hours to build, or keep running with Beheeyem?
Definitely. Beheeyem is definitely solid, I'd say. It's stupidly good in this format. But just like the simplicity of the card is what makes it good. But like I feel like going forward, I definitely want to build a different deck. It's still going to be. I'm still going to try to find something low maintenance. It's still going to be the same play style. Maybe I want to lean into more of a heavy swinging deck, like a stage 2 deck. Maybe like to challenge myself a little bit to cook up a stage 2, because I know they're hard to use in this format.
Very.
But I feel like for the next tournament, I'm going to try to take the same approach. Maybe I'll take a different approach. Depends on how I'm feeling. But I feel like it's been working well, and I already have a few ideas in mind. Not going to spoil anything, of course, but...
Well,
it's been cooking.
When this video goes out, I believe Twilight Masquerade will come out the very next day. So is there anything in Twilight Masquerade that you're super excited for?
Twilight Masquerade, okay. Let's see, I'm going to pull up the set list right now. Visual set list. Let's see. For Pauper, there's the Volbeat that can search for 2 basics, turn 1 going first.
Oh, okay.
With Jet Energy for just 1 colorless. Which could be interesting to set up your board. Diplin is going to be absolutely incredibly broken in this format, I think.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
Especially paired with Thwacky, it's going to be really crazy.
Yeah, Thwacky is like the Pidgeot for Pauper, you know?
It's like, literally a Pidgeot. Yeah. It's insane. You have Bug Catching Set as well, which is like Great Ball, but you can get 2 Grass Pokemon and Energies too.
Well, it's 2 like really in any combination of Pokemon.
In any combination. Yeah, it's a really versatile card. And you'll more often than not get a hit out of it.
Yeah.
Thwacky can also evolve into Rillaboom, so it's kind of proof to trapping, I'd say. 1 energy 60.
Rillaboom in Pauper?
Rillaboom isn't uncommon, actually. It's crazy how fully evolved starter Pokemon are now considered uncommons. It's really wild.
The reason why I allowed Japanese rarity in this tournament is that it's been that way for a while, actually. There's a lot of stage 2s that do come in as uncommon, just in Japan, where they make the cards, you know? So
yeah, the localization of the Japanese sets to the West is kind of weird. It's like you'll end up seeing non-holo rares, which aren't even a thing in the English set, in the Japanese sets, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they're no longer a thing in the English set. Since they've went to the silver borders, they've been matching rarity with Japan.
They've been trying to sync it up more with Japan, which I really like.
Yeah.
The only gripe I have against it is no more set logos. That makes me really sad. I like the set logos. Bring them back. Please, Pokemon. But for Twilight Masquerade, what else we got?
Oh, like the images in the corner?
Yeah, I really like those for some reason. Like, especially on the dice, that looks really, really clean.
Yeah,
there's Goldeen. There's Goldeen with the Festival lead ability as well, which could be paired with Seeking from with Swim Freely. So, like, you can search your deck for 2 cards with Thwacky, and then evolve into Seeking, and then attach energies that way with Finneon, and then swing for huge damage.
Maybe it's just me, but I pulled a Morpeko in my recent pre-release, and the ability to just look at the top card of your deck and discard it if you want seems so
really
good.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. Yeah. That seems like that's honestly a pretty good card because like every draw counts like so much in this format. It's like
exactly.
Oh, top deck's bad. Throw it in the trash.
and I'm thinking it could just make like Gutsy Pickaxe work so much better.
Yeah, that's true. What Pokemon would you pair it with though? I was thinking Okidogi, but that's a rare, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
So that's not a thing. But that would also just be ridiculous. Another reason to play Beheeyem because that's psychic weakness. What else we got in here? The Farigiraf, which has the attack that does 40 for each of your stage 1s in play. Which could be paired with Kirlia, probably, and Double Turbo. Just to do nice damage for just 1 Double Turbo energy. I feel like that could work well. What else we got? Hisuian Arcanine, free 120 damage for free.
Sadly, that is a rare.
Ooh, yeah, I'm really biased towards Hisuian Arcanine. It's one of my favorite Pokemon.
Oh, it looks so
also,
good.
I wish that was playable. Too bad. I also see a Glaceon with a 1 energy 30 damage attack. At the end of your opponent's next turn, put 9 damage counters on the defending Pokemon. But it's likely that they'll just switch around it. Too bad. There's also Kilowattrel, which has for 1 energy 10 damage. During your next turn, the attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage. Which I feel like in Standard would never get the chance to shine, but in a format like this...
Yeah, it's got a shot, you know?
Could work. Do like 220 for its energy. It could do something in this format. It's like interesting to me. There's also the Abra, that's just a pivot, basically. And like now that I think of the Clefairy deck, there's a new Clefable that for double colorless can copy your opponent's active Pokemon's attack. It's like if you're playing against something really strong, just steal their attack.
Yeah, definitely.
And then,
nice attack.
Dude, and it works for 2, and it works for 2, and it like bypasses lead cut quarters.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice. Beefs up the Clefairy, which only has 60. It's nice. Apart from that, there's a Hawlucha that swings for 140 if you have more prizes than your opponent. There's also a Glamora, which does 130 if your opponent's active is poison for 1 energy. Which is something I would make if Brute Bonnet was legal.
Yeah,
but unfortunately it is not.
Yeah, poison is kind of hard to get off in Pauper, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking then maybe Conkeldurr would work, but yeah. It really sucks. Too bad. But I guess Cloth would go absolutely unparalleled in this format if poison was that easy.
Right.
Cloth would just demolish. There's Revavroom, 120 damage for 1 colorless on a revenge KO.
Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of like the
really nice card.
Coin until you get tails and then you do 100 for each heads. Like,
yeah, that's
you just
funny.
need 2 heads and you'll KO anything in Pauper, right?
No, put it with a Matang. Easy.
There you go.
The stream 120 for colorless. Weave in a running charge or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And flip 5 heads, 500 damage. Easy.
There you go.
There's also a Diplin, 70 for Grass Fire. Switch one of your opponent's bench with the active, and then does 70 to the new active.
Oh, nice.
But I don't feel like that's really good. Apart from that, Carmine could be big. Discard, draw 5, but it can be used going first on your first turn.
Yeah. I'm
also huge.
Looking forward to her brother.
Aaron.
Yeah, where you get to pick either like switching your active or dealing 30 more damage, right? Or is that only to EX?
It's only to EXs and Vs.
Ah,
but,
come on.
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, that would have been great if it was to everything. We always still have Grant in the format, which is only for fighting Pokemon, but
I just think
it's hard to get running too.
Back in Sun and Moon, we had Professor Kukui as a support, and you do 20 more damage and draw 2 cards. It's like
that's pretty nice.
Dang, I love that card.
Kind of bonkers.
Anyway,
Alana's 8's gonna be huge too.
I'll let you get back to whatever you need to do. But thank you so much for taking the time for this interview and showing off just
welcome,
how busted Beheeyem is in Pauper.
Absolutely broken.
Match.
Glad to be able to help out, man. Thank you for organizing the tournament.
Oh, no worries, and I hope you'll be able to join the next one. I don't know when it will be
me too.
But yeah. And
soon.
If anyone else out there wants to join, just go ahead, join the Discord, and you'll be notified when I'm going to be hosting my next Pauper tournament. I'm really excited about this format and hoping we can get many more tournaments going.
Yes.
Go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. And of course, until next time, keep playing Jank.